Welcome to this video. I was finishing the preparation for a class that I'm giving this weekend about working with mom, guilt, and letting it go, forgiving ourselves. And I was reviewing the different kinds of scenarios that I very often see happening with the moms that I coach around that notion of mom's guilt. There are several scenarios that I see coming back over and over, and frankly the one that I'm going to talk about today is very familiar to me because I used to be so afraid of damaging my kids, and I used to feel so guilty for every mistake that I made, for example raising my voice or anything that I thought would impact them in a negative way for life. So that's something that I really is dear to my heart, and I think is very important to tap on. So that's why today we're going to tap together. And if you don't know what EFT, emotional freedom technique, is, or tapping, also known as tapping, doesn't matter. You can just follow what I'm doing and repeat the sentences that I'm going to say, and it will work as it always does. If you want, in a short version, tapping is like a stress reduction technique which uses acupuncture points in the body to intercept and reduce the activity of the amygdala, which is the center of stress in the brain, so that you can come back to a neutral point and have your brain working better, get more creative, get out of anxiety, guilt, anything. So let's go for it. And first I'm gonna ask you to really remember, pinpoint, because the more precise you are, the better it's gonna work. That scenario that is for you, the one where you think you did something that damaged your kids for life, or you have a doubt, what if it damaged them for life? I want you to go back to it, and you can pause the video and really feel the impact of that memory on your nervous system, in your body. Really connect with that guilt. I promise you, I won't leave you there. We're gonna work on the guilt today to start scratching the surface and start opening the door to self-forgiveness, to dissolving that guilt, to get to a place where you have less self-judgment about it, because frankly, self-judgment can be a major block. It can paralyze you into a status quo that you don't like, because you can't look at something if you have too much self-judgment and negative emotion about it. You will push it aside, and sometimes you put it under the rug, and the more you put stuff under the rug, at the end it makes like a bump, and it hurts to walk on it. So that's what we're doing today. We are really seeing the bump, so that you can look at a situation and get more creative to find a different way of doing things in the future, no matter what your scenario is. So pick your scenario, be really precise about it, and give it a title. If you need to pause the video, again, I'm repeating because it's super important, pause the video. So I assume that now you have your scenario, and you really are feeling the negative emotion in your body. I know it's not the best to feel, but we're going to dissolve that. We're going to change that. On a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being I don't feel this guilt in my body, 10 is like I'm going to explode, I have so much guilt. You need to be at a 5 or higher. So if you're not there, go back and really rerun the memory in your head, what everybody was saying, what happened, who was there, what time of the day it was, what you were wearing, what others were wearing, how was the temperature in the room. Any small detail that can bring you back to that memory where you're really in it and you can really experience the guilt in your body. So now I assume, write down on a piece of paper or take a mental note of your number, it's called your SUD number, your score if you want, and now go into your body and see where do you feel the guilt in your body. It may be maybe in your third chakra, like in the sternum, like the solar plexus. It may be in your mind. It may be, in your head, in your chest. Where do you, or it may be a tension in your neck. How does that guilt manifests for you into your body? And now we're going to start tapping. So the first 3 statements, if you want, are going to be the same or kind of the same, and we're just setting up the scene. And after that, I will tap on points. If you want to understand tapping a little bit more, you can go and refer yourself to my introduction to tapping video, but as I said, it doesn't matter. So let's go for it now. With 3 fingers, no matter what hands, no matter what size you're working on the body, both sides at the same time, it does not matter. Even though there is that situation and you give the title of your story, even though there is that story, or I went through that story, and that's your memory, even though I did that, and I'm afraid that I damaged my kids for life, and I feel so guilty about it, I love and accept myself completely. Now we're going to repeat. Even though I feel so guilty about that story, so guilty about maybe having damaged my kids for life, I completely love and accept myself. Even though I feel so guilty because of that story, because of what I did or didn't do, because I may have damaged my kids for life, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Now let's tap on the eyebrow, the beginning. That story. And you give your title. All that guilt because I have damaged my kids for life. I feel so guilty because I probably damaged my kids for life. Or my kid. All that guilt in my body for having damaged my kid. All that guilt in my body. Under the bone here in the soft part. All that guilt because I probably damaged them for life. Damaged my kid. And you can say their name if you want. It's even better. Now under the arm, you can't see, but it's under the bra line here. All that guilt in my body. Or on the top of the head. All that guilt. It's so strong. All that guilt that is at number, and say your score. We're going to say number 7. It is there in my body right now. Because I damaged my kids for life. I feel so guilty about it. All that guilt, I'm going to say in my chest, say wherever it is in your body. All that guilt in my chest. Under the arm, I can feel it in my chest. I can see it in my chest. What color does it have? All that blue guilt in my chest. All that blue guilt that is affecting my breathing even. All that blue guilt in my chest because I damaged my kids for life. I feel so bad about it. I wish I hadn't done that. I wish I hadn't damaged my kid for life. all that guilt in my body, in my chest. All that blue guilt of because I damaged my kid for life. All that guilt, I wonder, can I let some go? All that blue guilt, can I let some go? No, I can't, because I damaged my kids for life. Yes, I can, because that's probably not true. Kids are resilient, and I probably didn't have damaged them for life. But there is that guilt. What if I have damaged them for life? What if it's not true? I didn't damage them for life. I don't know, but my fear is I probably did damage them for life. Come on, what I did is not so serious and horrible. Yes, it is, because I damaged them for life. No, I didn't. And I have this back and forth dialogue in myself. And all that guilt in my body, it's really uninvited. I'm tired of having it in my body. I really hope I can do something about it. All that guilt in my body and all that tennis match in my mind. It is time for it to stop. I accept that I made a mistake. And I also accept that I am probably catastrophizing. All that guilt in my body for so long. I wish to let some go. And maybe all of it go. It doesn't mean that I am a bad mom if I let it go. It doesn't mean that I don't care about my kid if I let it go. It's quite the opposite. I want to be the best mom. And that guilt isn't helping. Every mom makes mistakes. I know this perfect mom does not make mistakes. But does she really exist anyway? I know that the guilt is preventing me from being creative, being solution-oriented, and I want to help my kids. I want to be the best mom I can be. Therefore, I'm releasing the obstacles. And that guilt taught me the lesson I needed to learn. You know what? I even thank that guilt because I've learned from it. But now I know I won't make that same mistake ever again. I let it go and I free myself to find solutions. I let it go and I open my whole brain to be creative, to help me change and not make that mistake again. I am now letting go of that guilt. Maybe not completely, I don't know, but a big part. I free myself to be the best mom I can be. I free myself and I accept that I'm not perfect. I am letting go of that guilt. And I now see it leaving my body. I choose to forgive myself. I choose to part with the guilt and embrace the lesson. I choose to give myself a chance to change and become the mom I can be. I now see the guilt leaving my body. Get what image you get. I see it evaporating. If that's not your image, choose your image. I see it draining from me, from the bottom of my spine. I see it leaving from my head, whatever is working for you. It is leaving my body. Thank you, guilt. I've learned and I've grown. I am now ready to change whatever I need to change to not make that mistake again. I free myself and I become the best mom I can be. Now take a deep breath and really give yourself a hug, because we're so hard on ourselves as moms. And see, where do you fall now on your score from 0 to 10? Chances are the intensity of the guilt and the negative emotion went down. If it didn't, you can go back to the beginning of the video and redo the tapping. You may feel a release, you may feel better, but know that it's just a scratching, it's just an opening of the door. You have to continue that work and finish dissolving that guilt completely. Reframe what happens, start telling yourself a different story, and really meditate on the lesson so it becomes a part of you. If you don't want to continue doing this work by yourself on yourself, I invite you to join us on February 13th, this Sunday, at, oh my gosh, I forgot the time. I believe it is 9 a.m. Pacific time. And yes, it is 9 a.m. Pacific time for an hour and a half. We'll be working with the guilt, and I'll teach you 5 keys, 5 steps to forgive yourself that you can use in any area of your life, but we're going to use it on that mom's guilt on Sunday. And you'll part with that map so that next time you run into guilt about anything, you know what to do, you know, and you'll have it recorded to know what you do as far as steps to dissolve it, forgive yourself, and grow and change for the best. So I hope it helps. You can put comments below on your experience today, especially if it was your first time with tapping. If you have questions, please don't hesitate. And I really hope that I will see you in the class on Sunday. If you can't make it live, it will be recorded, so you can either purchase the class on its own, or you can join the membership, and then you'll have the opportunity to do additional tapping session on any residual from the class. Meanwhile, forgive yourself. Let go of the self-judgment. In my story, it spiraled me into depression. I would really love to prevent that for you. And there is no reason to be so hard on ourselves that we cannot even look at what we need to change because it feels so bad and we shove it under. No reason for that, especially with tapping. So have a wonderful day and go forgive yourself. Mwah.